Hey there, everyone. It's RCK, and I'm glad to have you back here again for our next episode of our Fallen Empires campaign. Not campaign, Omniscience or Omniscience game. So, this is going to be turn 71. Go over turn 71, 72 this turn. For this episode, we have a global going up. Who's this, Gift of Health? I think so. We'll have to take a look when we get on. No? Maybe. I don't know, I just say, shall be cured in good health, shall be enjoyed by everyone. That's why I assume it's Gift of Health. We'll look when we get in. So we have, of course, a lot of retaliation back towards end because they've been taking so much land. They are number one on land last turn. And we see that they are starting, I wouldn't say to punish, but of course they're already at war with Ermor, so we'll see. We have End raiding Ermor, Ermor raiding End, Abizia raiding End, trying to get some of those provinces back. Ermor raiding End, and this could very well be a lot of provinces that End just took that's not in his own dominion. We have Abizia raiding End. We have Machaka taking out that Demon Knight that was beside the throne. Demon Knight event, of course. Here we have Arcus of Folly taking back some independent province. Ermor attacking End. Ermor attacking End. Ermor bumping into a large army of End and losing. Ermor attacking End. Mercenaries attacking one of Satis's provinces and End attacks Satis in one. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good bit. Those mercenaries have been doing a good job for him for sure. Just a raid, small, just Malika one long dead. Independence attack, but were defeated. So honestly enough, I don't feel like, we did look through all those battles, but overall there wasn't anything we need to watch at this point in the game. Nothing serious. We can look at how End is faring, and we'll go on to the next turn. So we do see Ermor trying to cut man off from End itself, making it harder for him to get over there. At this point, I would have to assume the End has Gateway, so it shouldn't be too hard if he wanted to reinforce this or go back. Yes, it's going to be hard to get his Mage Corps, but his army itself he could move. What is up with this deep raiding over here? No, I think they're right here, I think, because Amalika attacked the long dead that must have been left on that fort. Weird. So, we see just a lot of back and forth with these provinces here, and of course, Ermor raiding against these small places over here, because, like, very, very low dominion. Of course, it is pressured by Ermor's own dominion here in this area, but I would think at least these provinces, since he's held them for a while, would be a little bit higher. I'm just clicking through and checking his dominion candles. Little nothing around here. So yeah, Ermor kind of has free range to kind of take a lot of this stuff around here because it's not End's dominion. Very unfortunate for him. But yeah, he's got to be pushing that dominion a little bit harder, preaching a lot more. Does End get the blood sack? I do not remember. There's a good chance they do. You can conflict bonus -2. That's unfortunate. Or is it? What? Yeah, they get -2 through their conflict order. I did not know that. Interesting. Very interesting. I did not know that little part right there. Does it say? I don't see it saying it anywhere. Like high-ranking preachers or priests can become prophets. Every temple adds 1 to the sacred recruitment limit. Bonus Dominion hides province ownership. I knew that. I guess they can't blood sack. Unfortunate for him. I did not know about that conflict bonus either. That is very interesting. Very interesting for sure. And of course, they have holy threes like crazy, but conflict bonus does suck. Or conflict nerf, I guess. Very interesting, very interesting. Learn something new all the time about this game, guys. You have to keep yourself open. Of course, everyone doesn't know everything. Even those really, really good players, they still might miss things from time to time or not remember everything. So there is that. So yeah, not too much to say here about turn 71. Very slow turn, just fights back and forth. Nothing serious. How is this going over here? So everything has been taken from Satis, but these two. Well, there's an underwater province, so 3 provinces left here for Satis. Arcosophaly should. I don't know. I'd be mad that this all was taken here. I would probably walk into end here, and with him having his back to Ermor, you being at peace with Ermor, you're putting him in a very tough spot. I don't think he'd be able to fight you, and I think he would cede most of this land to you just due to that fact, because he's not going to fight on 2 fronts. You're not easily. He can't get you too easily. I mean, if he does, I mean, you have a pretty decent stack sitting over here already. This is also your cap, so I'm sure you have a lot of mages over here. You have an army. I mean, you have armies on both sides of them. I don't think he would want to take that fight, honestly. And end is kind of light in this area as well. So, that's how I feel about that. Not too much to be said about Abysia at this point. Of course, we do want to see how they proceed forward and fighting End and Machaka here at the same time. Of course, we see End on a fort, attacking different places. So, well, he couldn't even get stuff from that anyway, not unless... Is it somewhere else? I think, no, I think he attacked that. I don't know who owned that one, really. Might have been End as well. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. We'll head over to turn 72. This might be a short episode, depending on how much stuff is going on. But I will try to talk about it and see everything. Okay, so at least we have a lot of battles, if not raids. I didn't check what that global was last turn. This is Mother Oak. Before I look at what's going on there, I do want to see the globals, and I was correct, but it was N that actually put up Gift of Health. Very interesting, him holding 4 of the 5 globals currently. Arcosophaly taking Mother Oak. It puts End in a strong spot, but also a dangerous spot here. And we'll look at these battles. So, Ermor won again. Abysia won again. Just to ping scout, see if there's stuff there. Or maybe it got caught. We see N taking a province back. We see N taking another province back. Oh, okay, hold on. So let's see. Can't really tell who won on that battle there, because that was a quick one, but I do want to watch. I'll say, I don't remember who actually won this. I couldn't tell that fast. But we'll take everything into consideration, and I will tell you my guess. So looking here, we have 4 or 5. This was the whole big army. We see a Timu here, which is actually a pretty strong unit. I didn't mention that before, due to the fact of him not being an astral mage. So, a big problem with the Dusk Elders that Ermor gets. Yes, they do have high death, but they usually have 1 astral, maybe 2 astral if they're lucky. Sometimes you can get 3, but those are very, very rare. And astral heavy nations like End, Bandar Log, Scalaria, other nations like that have lots and lots of astral mages, they're just going to magic duel you. Okay, you brought 3 astral ones. Okay, well, I brought 20 plus astral ones, half of them casting magic duel to take out all of your magic that you currently have. But with a Timu here, you're not able to fight him before he's actually able to cast anything. So that is very interesting and a very good thing about not taking Misfortune 3, but I still take Misfortune 3 just because. I do like the bless that I take. So we see large side flanks of knights on either side. I don't know the benefits of, because what I like to do is put them in separate smaller groups. There might be one larger group on one side, but there might be a small group here, 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 maybe even one in the middle, maybe one over here, and like they'd all be on like attack rear, and just in smaller formations. I don't know how beneficial that is, but I mean, at the end of the day, they have morale 50, and it doesn't matter if you put all of your Mound Kings and Censors to having 5 squads each, because that morale penalty is not going to matter to those guys. The only thing that the morale penalty matters to will be your lictors. And of course, when it comes to archbishops, I only use the archbishops to lead the lictors. I do not put anything else in squads there. I have it in one squad, so they only get -1 to their morale, I believe. We do see some specters here as well. I'm equipped up. We did talk about those last turn. And we see here in the middle, we see a large formation of lictors in a square. I normally like to also put my lictors in a double line, if not a line formation here in the second row. First row being able to take charges, things like that, followed by velites. But we see a different kind of formation. I'm not saying that his formation is bad. I'm just saying what I like to do. Everyone's formation differently, and I'm sure everyone's. Of course, I do feel like this is also a pretty strong one. Of course, you have all these long dead back here. More of the chaffy ones versus the long shield, or is it long shield? Tower shield, my bad. That are up here at the front. They're your more quality long dead, but like this is back here for attack rear, flyers, things like that. As well, I mean, most of these knights are going to be catch anything trying to go around, and your lines are so long that nothing can necessarily go around, depending. But we see here, long line of javelins. Who's this in the front here? Some shades, cool. Long line of javelins, probably on fire. I would have all the javelins, all these Principes that have javelins on them, on fire, so they can at least throw their javelin, which normally can do a pretty decent amount of damage. And this is followed by just things to fill up the line, kind of fill in the holes here and there. And honestly, these long dead with the broadswords hit pretty decently hard. So they are pretty good overall. I figured they were all the longsword variant here, even if they had a shield or not. Yeah. This is just where those are. And then followed by other units, of course. Then we have our lictors and our other long dead. And then let's go ahead and look over here. See a lot of Solus. Might have done some reanimating or something along those lines here from the corpses that were here. But having these in the front could take charges from Cav, even though Cav is in the back. I mean, they're going to take javelin hits, and that's going to be great. I mean, that is definitely what you want your javelins to be hitting here. It's chaff that you don't care about. You rather them hit this 15 hit point soulless warrior that even has a decent shield on it. That, you know, who cares? Who cares if it hits all these guys and whatnot? Good, we want them to. Because that is less javelins that's going to be hitting our troops that we spent money on, our sacreds that's going to be dealing damage and everything like that. Here we see a Mound Fiend, Death 4 Mound Fiend. It looks like a bunch of, or 2 Hashmas here with equipment on them. Bloodthorn there. So I assume that these mothers here will be casting things like Horde of Skeletons and whatnot just to help out the chaff. Not sure what these with the nature boosters will be casting. I mean, how mass regen, Serpent's Blessing, mass protection. I mean, there's so many different things. Creeping Doom, they could be casting. No, it's not called Creeping Doom. What's the one that starts killing the undead little by little? I don't remember. There's also Growing Fury, giving everything berserk so they don't run away. I mean, there's so many things you can be casting with nature. It's just a really good one to have. We have a Thug back here. This has Immortality. Cool. Long line here. Of course, everything's going to get blessed. Some Lady Warriors, some interesting units that he gets. And we see a Troll King with only one Earth. No, he does. Does he even have one? I guess he has one. Yeah, it does give him one temporary one. Maybe you should have put some gems on between the gems, and I guess you don't want anything on the death guy. There's not anything you want him to be casting. It's more than likely going to hurt you mostly, as far as battlefield spells. As far as it goes, I do feel that End is lacking in the mage department here that he normally brings. On top of that, he is just immensely outnumbered. I mean, we will definitely see how this goes. I mean, he could be casting. I mean, there's a couple of good things he can cast that he might have. I don't know if he has things like Firestorm and shit like that, but I don't remember if they have fire resistance. I'm sure they do. There's a good chance they do anyway. But there's a couple of good things. Solar Brilliance. He might not want to cast that if I remember correctly. If I remember that spell, it might blind his own troops. I don't remember. But there's a couple of good things for sure. That's just gonna wipe out all this chaff that is here. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to see the spells, and we'll try to go through those. Element Fortitude, Unholy Protection, Vulnerability, Summon Earth Power, Power of the Spheres, Power of the Sepulchre, so they're all getting more attack skill. Powers, I think it's attack skill that, yeah, it's Unholy Power, yeah. Mass Protection, we do see Mass Protection coming up. We do see Relief being up. We see Weapons of Sharpness being cast, and that's going to be very nice to get through all of that very, very high HP pool of these undead. Oh, yeah, they do have Fire Resistance 15, so something like Firestorm really wouldn't bother them all that much. Power of the Spheres, and Ashes to Ashes, a really good spell to see. I wonder if that's what all of the mothers with the skull, the skull staff are casting. Will of Fates is good, giving all of his troops luck. Warriors in Niflheim giving all of his troops cold resistance. And actually, cold resistance is a pretty big deal fighting Ermor. Normally they take cold 3 anyway, but on top of that, all of their lictors have a chill aura on them, if you may or may not know. On their mages do too, their bishops do, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of your guys can have fatigue problems if they don't have cold resistance fighting lictors. Let's keep that in mind. Rigor Mortis being cast by Timu, expected. Weapons of Sharpness, Ashes to Ashes, Raised Dead. Of course, I'll move up some. And we do see what I mentioned earlier. All these javelins here getting thrown into these soulless, and honestly, well, it doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot. Order Skeletons, Weapon of Sharpness, Ashes to Ashes, Gifts of Heaven. Oh wait, these guys are looking good. They're looking real good. Rigor Mortis will outpace Relief, but Relief, of course, is a good thing to have up regardless. We do see a Firestorm cast, so this is going to be very, very nice. This is going to kill almost all that chaff except for the Sacreds. I do expect to see. We do see these Knights here coming up fast. More Weapons of Sharpness. With their bones, feel like imps going up and down. Gifts of Heaven. Creeping Doom. See, I did call that Creeping Doom there. Ashes to Ashes. Solar Rays. Those Gifts from Heaven are getting some pretty good hits out back there. So are the Solar rays and ashes to ashes, I see. And of course, this raised dead horde of skeletons coming back in the rear. I mean, they're not going to be affected by this rigor mortis, and just having chaff fighting Ermor is a pretty big thing because, I mean, once they start kind of grinding you down, they're going to get to your mages, they're going to get to your commanders, and if you just have that constant chaff filling up those slots, there's a good chance that your battle is more likely to go your way. Now all these Ashes to Ashes casters are probably hitting these lictors. Gifts of Heaven are hitting these lictor squares as well. This is very good for his part. This is going a lot better for N than I thought it would. Of course, I did call the Firestorm there. If Firestorm was cast, that chaff is irrelevant. And that is something you definitely have to be mindful of, how much chaff you're willing to expend if your enemy does have Firestorm, and how fast can you actually finish that battle. The longer the battle goes, the more damage is going to be dealt to you. Normally enough, if they just have a magic phaser that comes in, casts Firestorm, and you have lictors in the front, like, it's going to take care of that caster way fast enough to get rid of that Firestorm that it really is not even going to hurt your chaff all that much. It looks like the relief caster ran away or died. Wow. So it's down to these soldier priests fighting lictors. And it's to be expected. Timu is still back there. Yeah. I don't know, it's looking good. I mean, he has this constant flow of imps coming in that are really piling up. We have just the soldier priests doing a pretty good job. Some of them are getting fatigued out at this point that are in the front that are constantly fighting, but honestly, they're not too high. They're usually around the 100 mark, and they're not really going over that. But there's still a lot of them that are fighting still. Ooh, that hurt. I saw that. Ashes to ashes or wither bones. It's like she went berserk. A lifelong protection on her. Wow, she might die with those 2 hit points. Oh, that's gonna suck. Might see her going now. Nope, okay. Let's put on fast forward. Looks like the lictors are starting to turn the tides here. Oh, and there they broke through. And this is where things get bad. Yep. Mages are disappearing. Soldiers are dying fast. That Firestorm caster lasted a long time, though. God, it was just like that. As soon as they broke through, things started falling apart. Man, that was a good battle. Good battle. Both sides taking very, very heavy losses. A lot more lictors lived than I thought lived. Still 130, 140. Didn't think there was that many left. All the priests died, yeah, to be expected. Lost a good bit there. That was a lot. That was expensive. They had a lot of items on it. Those mages. These guys are expensive too. Shit. Lost 5 of them, and they did some good damage. 160 soldier priests. A lot of that was fighting lictors though, so that, I mean, that was 96 gems lost on the Ermor side. Possibly 2 to 3 turns worth of gems, but probably more than likely 2 or 3 turns worth of recruitment as well, maybe more. More than likely more. I don't know, it's pretty late. late in the game. There's no telling how fast he's actually being able to recruit them. I expected the Troll. I mean, yes, the Troll King did a good job with all the weapons and sharpness, but I expected something to make his troops themselves stronger. I expected a big buff like Army of Gold, Army of Lead. Man, that was a good battle. Good battle. 61 knights. That's a pretty big hit there too. Seeing all the rest of these, a Slayer taking back that province, a raid, Slayer dying, a raid back, counter raid, a raid that failed, another raid. Yeah, not too much other than that big battle there. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing Ermor taking Man here. Very interesting turn of events. I did expect Ermor to try to oppose in there. I don't know if N should have took that fight on patrol. Because Ermor wouldn't have known if you would have gatewayed troops in. Because he would have already been sitting on the fort. That's the only thing. I don't think he could have one turn popped you. I mean, there's a good chance he could have. There's a very good chance he could have one turn popped you. But regardless, you could have still set everything up and gatewayed in to fight in the fort. It's tough to say if the inside of the fort battle, how that would have necessarily gone for you, depending on if he would have broke that province this turn. Of course, we would never know, but since he was patrolling. But yeah, there's no way that Ermor would have known that you brought extra troops in if you gatewayed them in while he was already on said fort. So ideas, food for thought there. What I expected, I wanted to see a little bit more Dominion push. I know it is hard for him for sure. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So let's look at these score graphs real fast. We see of course, we had a huge spike here from End, but we also see a big decrease here due to everyone taking their shit back. Nobody likes their stuff taken in. So here we have our income, of course, the land going back and forth. That's why we see that. The gem income, that's of course explained as well. Research. End is catching Arco. Very nice. Dominion going down. Going down for you. Interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. So, N took that's a considerable amount of loss there. Pretty big one for Ermor as well. Might take him a turn or two, or honestly more, maybe 2 or 3 turns. Honestly, recuperate from what he lost there. But yeah, I mean, he does have a decent number of things. Of course, most of it is chaff, which is easily resolved by Firestorm, but it's the lictors that is causing in the problems. So, yeah, pretty big deal that N lost that battle there. I think, anyway. I mean, you won't really have that many mages in there. I don't know how many mages are in there, but a lot did die. I don't know if it'd be worth gatewaying in now. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Not really sure what Machaka is currently doing. Didn't see a lot of battles from him lately. He has not pressured Abizia any more than he already has. We see Arco taking that water province that N controlled, or not, and Satis controlled. We don't see him pressuring Satis anymore. Leave him in that fort for right now. Yeah, I'm telling you, he should have already attacked this province. There's a good chance Machaka might try to grab it. I mean, he's got a lot backing him here. This army probably will go for this throne here. I'm more than likely we'll see this army go for this throne. I bet. Even then, I mean, he'll need one more throne anyway, but I bet he's going to walk it over. If he takes out a Busy, I mean, that puts him in a good spot to take a throne from End or a throne from Arco. Very, very interesting stuff we have here. Lots of fun, lots of fun. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the battles that we had. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Oh, yeah, there are these. There's this throne here that is also unforted. And there was another one in End's provinces. One right here that is also unforted. So, very interesting there. That one I think could be easily taken. I don't know if Arco has his god back. I can't tell. I don't. And that could have been the. Yeah, I think that is his god. He did get his god back already. Ah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So that was turn 72. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.